Hi, I'm Amy Danae. I turn 51 this week, and I've got some really good news for those of you that have dealt with sleep apnea, but that are also trying to do great things for your health, some weight loss. It's time to put those two together. So my boyfriend should be joining us today. He has lost probably 50 pounds on Mounjaro. He has talked a lot on here about his sleep apnea. He is currently on Zepbound, and he is like a lot of you who could really benefit from the weight loss shots, but is it going to be covered by my insurance? Is it not going to be covered by my insurance? So we're going to talk about that FDA approval today, and we're going to talk about what it can mean when it comes down to the question, is my insurance now going to cover weight loss shots? I'm really glad you're with us today. Welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome for the first time if it's your first time meeting me. Thanks a ton for liking and subscribing. It really means a lot to our channel. I have done over 400 videos ever since my day one on Mounjaro. Here's a picture of me close to day one. You know, I lost 70 pounds on Mounjaro. Now I'm on Zepbound. It's meant the world, and I also really appreciate the community aspect where we can talk, share. I really enjoy educating myself, doing research projects, bringing them to you. I'm a fourth grade teacher. I'm not a doctor, so talk to your doctor about all these things that we discuss. But today, let's get right to it. Yahoo! Zepbound is now FDA approved for CPAP users. You know, I thought it was cute when I was researching this, but people were saying, thank a CPAP doctor. They are the ones who pursued it with the government. And they were like, I could hug you right now. I absolutely get that passion and excitement. So we've talked quite a bit on here about how we knew that Eli Lilly was in the middle of studies trying to gain some data on how Zepbound was affecting those that had breathing episodes during the night, those who were on CPAPs. This drug that started as Mounjaro to help people with type 2 diabetes and to help your blood sugar level. We have seen a lot of different ways that this medication is spun off. This is just one of them. It's fun to read about the studies. You can do a quick Google search and find one, but they did a blind study, which means you weren't sure if you were on the medicine or off. And it talks about how many less breathing episodes those who wore the CPAP that the Zepbound helped. It also helped with their weight loss. I was touched by a lot of comments online. One thing I read was somebody who said, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea in July of 23. I started Zepbound the next year in May of 24. I didn't get my CPAP until that August. And I had already lost enough weight that I returned it after a few weeks. And they said I don't have severe or even medium levels anymore and barely any events. Wow, that's awesome. I wanted to share another happy story with you. They started off with, wow, I have sleep apnea. I use a CPAP. If I fell asleep watching TV, I would wake up gasping for air and choking. I notice I don't do that anymore. I didn't associate it with the medication. I've been on Zepbound since July of 24. That's crazy. I am so grateful for this medication. You know, whatever your story is, I have friends, those of you here on our channel who are in your 70s, I love it when you email me and share like how it's going on your journey. That happiness and excitement is just the same for those I hear from who are in their 20s. You know, whether you've been trying for decades, that was me, or whether it's just been something that plagued you like all of your childhood and into college. How amazing for this medicine to help our brains get just the proper messages. When we eat, we feel full. Ugh. I cannot tell you how many videos I have started crying in because it really is beyond words. Amazing, happy, fantastic. So many of you write me and say life-changing. And in my heart, I'm like, I know, that's the perfect description. Okay, so let's talk about insurance. So a lot of people were talking about the fact that this is a new FDA approval. And so it's going to take a while for the insurance companies and for their formularies to update. This has been the truth for Mounjaro and Zepbound. My John was paying out of pocket. And then last year, his job picked it up. Zepbound is on their formulary, and I'm really happy for him. I have teacher friends who are right here in my state. They're in Northern Ohio. I have one of my best friends from college who is doing absolutely amazing on Mounjaro, and her district picked it up. Mine has not yet, but I am waiting patiently. I hear so many wonderful stories from y'all talking about how it was not covered under your insurance and now it is. And we know that it just takes time. Semaglutide came around several years ago. Zepbound was FDA approved at the end of November of 2023. Mounjaro, tirzepatide, FDA approved for diabetics. That was FDA approved in May 2022. But before that, what was there? You know, we still remember stories of the over-the-counter stuff or of some of the prescriptions that didn't have the long-term results. People that you knew who had been overweight and obese for years, if you see them every 5 years, they look very similar. That was our experience. You can look at the data from the studies. It just wasn't there. Now, semaglutide, tirzepatide, we see people who have been heavy our whole lives, who are completely changing their health. They're taking their life back. You can see it on the scale. You can see it not only physically, but mentally. The joy is also written all over their face. These drugs work. So yeah, for insurance companies who have been around a long time, who have a right to be leery because of what they've seen from 2000 to 2015. Well, hey, something new is on the scene. The data is there to support it. They are amazing. And for those of you that start conversations about what this means, the trajectory of what that means for hospital stays, for length of life, for comorbidities, for all the sicknesses and diseases that come along for the most part because of obesity. Yeah, these drugs, they're on the scene and they're changing the picture. They are changing the dialogue. So insurance companies are coming around, and I think it's going to be the exact same with those of you that have the sleep apnea who are waiting for your insurance to cover Zepbound. I'm going to give you a specific example of something that you can do that I hope will help. So there was a gentleman that says, yes, I called my insurance. They say it's not approved. I saw a lot of you saying the same thing, that you had reached out to your insurance. One person said, I wrote my insurance company and they stood firm as heck. They will not cover the medication. But more and more people are chiming in and who are sharing that their doctor submitted an exception and their Zepbound is now covered. One person said, I did ask my insurance, was turned down. My doctor submitted an exception and I received Zepbound within 2 days. So I leave you with the suggestion that you ask your doctor to reach out to the insurance to submit the paperwork. And I am hoping that we continue to receive good news that more and more of you who have suffered with sleep apnea, who have been on CPAPs for years, will find that you're going to get your Zepbound. It's really going to help with your occurrences per night, some weight loss along with that, and better health as you move forward living your full, busy, and active life. All right, everybody, that's been our video for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.